There's been one of those mass shootings that we all know from the United States in El Paso, Texas. And the guy who did the shooting, he published a manifesto going against the invasion and replacement of white people from Hispanic people, blah blah blah, is that whole shit. The response from the President of the United States was that after a hateful person shot up minorities, the response from the President of the United States was to find more minorities to be a target. The President of the United States, the first response he made was, mentally ill people are the problem. Like, a guy shoots up people out of hatred for minorities. And the first impulse of the President of the United States is, oh, I have another minority for you, mentally ill people, they should be targets too, you should kill them too. That's the response from the President of the United States. That mentally ill people, you should target them too. It's not just Mexicans, it's not just black people, you should target mentally ill people too. Like, the solution to an asshole targeting minorities is to say, oh, here's another one, mentally ill people, target them too, please target them too. What the fuck? What kind of society are we in that this is tolerable? What the fuck? You know, you see me, I'm a guy who makes drunk videos. I have a hat, I have sunglasses. I have a job too. And guess what? I'm a trained therapist. I can tell you a bit or two about mental illness. And I can tell you one thing. Being a shit person doesn't mean that you are mentally ill. If you want to kill people, that doesn't mean you're mentally ill. Mental illness is very, very well defined in psychiatry as something you do not choose. The people who choose to kill people are not mentally ill. Mentally ill people have issues they do not choose, they do not want, they do not wish. They want to get rid of them. They don't wish them, they don't want them, they want to get rid of them. People who go on killing sprees do that because it's exactly what they want and wish. It's not an illness. It's not a sickness, it's not an illness, it's not a mental sickness, not a mental illness. They choose to do that. Choice is not an illness. If people want to choose to be assholes, that's not an illness. An illness is when you do not choose something, when something happens to your mind that you do not choose, do not wish, do not want. But these people going on killing sprees, they choose, want, and wish to do exactly that. It's not an illness, it's very clearly defined. There's a very clear line in psychiatry between being a sick person and being a shit person. Being a sick person means that you have things in your head that you do not want. Being a shit person is that you want what you do. And these spree killers, they want what they do. They are not ill by the very definition of psychiatry that they want it. They cannot be mentally ill if they want it. They cannot be. It's scientifically impossible. It's mutually exclusive. You cannot want something and be mentally ill. Mentally ill means you do not want it. You do it and want it, it means you're not mentally ill. It's mutually exclusive. And these shit people in governments in high positions say mental illness causes this shit. It doesn't. It's scientifically wrong. It's scientifically completely wrong. Wrong. I know it's a trend to hate science, like in the climate change era, like, oh, science says that our shitty ideology is wrong, therefore science is liberal and our enemy. We hate science. It's liberal and evil and communist. No, science is not anything in terms of politics. Scientific method is neutral. You investigate, peer review is neutral, and when science says something, it's neutral. It doesn't have any political leaning to it. It just says what is. Science says what is. There is no liberal or conservative. There's nothing about it that has any political direction. It says what is. This is reality. It's reality. This is reality. This is the real world, how it's happening. We investigated, we examined, we peer reviewed, we falsified. Science says this is reality. You have to be retarded to accuse it of anything. Science is neutral. Science says something means that's how it is. And science about mental illness says if you want something, it's not an illness. It's an illness if you don't want it. That's the basis of psychiatry. You want it, it's not an illness. You're just a fucking asshole. If you don't want it, then it's an illness. Mental illness is things you do not want. And if it's things you do want, if it's an ideology you want to follow, it's not mental illness. People claiming it is a mental illness are liars. They are denying science. They are denying every science, and they are liars. They're pieces of shit. They're denying science to promote an ideology. And they are liars, pieces of shit, and just, you don't even need to study the way I did. Just read 5 minutes on Wikipedia about what mental illness is. Mental illness is things you do not want. And if you have a perpetrator who kills people, who wants to kill people, he is not mentally ill. Stop trying to blame mentally ill people for your fucked up people. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That person is just fucked up, stuck up in some ideology, some hate, whatever. It's not an illness. Stop blaming minorities to deflect from your own responsibility. Fuck you. Mentally ill people are not responsible for these hate crimes. Never. The science does not support it. I know you people hate science. And think about yourself, how fucked up you are to hate science. How fucked up are you to hate science? Scientific method is neutral. It has no political leaning, but you hate it. You hate science. You just hate science. Which in turn means you hate reality. If you claim mental illness is responsible for these slaughters, then you hate reality. You just hate reality. You want your ideology to fit reality, and it doesn't. So you hate reality. You're anti-reality. Your ideology is to be anti-reality. What the fuck is wrong with you? Come back to the real world. The real world is where real things happen, where scientifically falsifiable things happen. In the real world, you can examine things scientifically, and it fits. In your ideology world, it doesn't fit because you hate science. What kind of level of stupidity does it take to hate science, to hate reality? What kind of fucking level of stupidity? Like Forrest Gump is 10 times smarter than you. If you hate reality, hate science, Forrest Gump is 10 times smarter than you. How stupid can people be? The science is clear about mental illness and violence. Mental illness means you have something you do not choose. If you do something you choose, it's not mental illness. Choice is not mental illness. Choice is not mental illness. Get it in your head. Choice is not mental illness. The science is very clear, has been documented billions of times, has been submitted to papers billions of times, has been falsified billions of times. Choice is not illness. Choice is choice. If you want to be a murderer, you are a murderer. You're not sick. You just want to be a murderer. It's how it is. It's reality. If you hate reality, that's your choice. You're just stupid. But it's reality. Reality.